Skywatch Media News, the second week of December 2017. On a summer day some 65 million years ago, a huge asteroid struck the Earth. 70% of all living things perished. When it hit, the asteroid blasted a 130-mile wide crater in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. But that collision wasn't the first. Large strikes that cause extinctions seem to happen every 30 million years, and the hits seem to have a rhythm of 26 to 32 million years. Comet and asteroid strikes that kill from 10 to 50% of living things have happened as well. These include the 35 million year old 40-kilometer wide crater that is located below Chesapeake Bay in Virginia. Encounters with comets or asteroids that are not extinction-level events happen every 10,000 years. The smallest collisions, such as the 1908 asteroid that flattened 40 square miles in Siberia, happen every 100 years. The Tunguska event was nearly 109 years ago. So let's take a look at this raw footage from the 1921 Tunguska expedition, which displayed the aftermath of the huge Tunguska explosion of 1908. Comets and asteroids are all around us. Some orbit near the Kuiper Belt, while some orbit near Jupiter and the Sun, such as Shoemaker-Levy 9, which broke into 9 parts in 1992 and hit Jupiter in July of 1994, shown in this short video clip. The Kuiper Belt orbits around our Sun. It contains ice dwarfs, microplanets, asteroids, and comets. The majority of comets, over 1 billion, orbit further out in the Oort comet belt. Something out there has been pushing comets at us every 30 million years. Several theories about the possible culprit, put out in the 1980s and the 1990s, have not yet been proved. Here are 3. Nemesis, a companion star that orbits close to our Sun every 30 million years and knocks comets out of the Oort comet belt. Half of the shifted comets leave our solar system and half travel toward our Sun and Earth. NASA says that Nemesis hasn't been found, which leads one to conclude that there are other stars capable of sending objects hurtling towards Earth, and yet none of which are known to be near enough to cause changes in the Oort object's path. Planet X, a large planet in the Oort comet belt or even on the outskirts of our solar system. As it orbits, it affects the orbits of the smaller bodies, sending some our way. Planet X is supposed to be much larger than Earth, but NASA says it has not been found. I will talk more on this in a moment. And galactic rotation. Our Sun travels around our galaxy, and as we rotate around it, our path moves up and down, much like riding waves on the oceans. At some point, our Sun nears other stars or thick gas fields, which change the movement of the comets. In 2015, a hidden planet was discovered in the Kuiper Belt, and it may be responsible for periodic comet strikes. This planet, dubbed Planet 9, is larger and closer than Planet X was thought to be, but it is probable that it could push comets close to Earth. Planet 9 could be 10 times the mass of Earth, but we can't see it. It's still a considerable distance out and too dim to be seen with our current telescopes. So how do we know it's there? It can be determined mathematically. In a January 2016 Astronomical Journal article, Caltech astronomers Konstantin Bidogen and Michael Brown wrote that 11 dwarf planets and large asteroids in the Kuiper Belt, including Sedna, which is 995 kilometers in size, have orbits that cluster together. Their orbits all close together in the same area, less than 30 degrees apart, without the objects hitting each other. This couldn't have happened by chance. The probability is only 7/100%. The clustering couldn't happen unless there was a large planet forcing the orbits of these 11 large bodies together. The hidden planet may have an orbit that passes through the orbits of the affected bodies. It could be some time before our telescopes are big enough and the hidden planet is close enough for us to see it. But these are mathematical calculations, so we have no way of knowing for a certainty when that day will finally arrive. This unseen planet is big enough to cluster 11 large bodies. But is it responsible for the periodic strikes of comets and asteroids? Only more research will tell us. So we'll keep looking up to the sky in our search for answers. As we continue searching the skies for the true position of the elusive Planet X, it is now being reported that within days of the launch of a project by ANU for volunteers to identify candidates for the 9th planet, 4 possibilities have now been found. The response from skywatchers was swift and impressive. Within days, 60,000 people had classified more than 4 million objects. If the so-called Planet 9 is as large as Neptune, shown here, and less than 350 astronomical units from the Earth to the Sun, then it's probably one of the 4 possible candidates detected in the last few days, according to scientific analysis of the announced candidates. But like most of the reports originating from agencies affiliated with NASA, one must look at the new information with a bit of skepticism and question what this really means and what this is really all about. If you get time to view our Facebook page, you will notice that we receive a number of extraordinary images and videos from followers across the world. There is one video taken by Louisiana resident Danny Garceau that was taken in April of 2017. The video garnered a great deal of attention and is one of the most convincing captures of the star system that I have analyzed over the years. The brown dwarf, in a very rare appearance as it orbits our sun in retrograde fashion. What is being called a trilogy of supermoons are happening in sequence. The first one was visible on December 3rd of this year, followed by another one January 1st, 2018, and again on January 31st. The latter will be a blood red moon, featuring a total lunar eclipse in which the moon will gradually get darker and take on the rusty red color during the eclipse. The phenomena of the two suns continues to make headlines across the globe. An incredible sighting occurred in the sky over Colorado on December 3rd. Some observers have suggested that this is the supermoon rising above the sun as it was setting, mimicking the appearance of two suns in the sky. It may seem that this is what was captured, but it would depend entirely on the direction of the moon orbit inclination. What we know about the December 3rd supermoon was that the full moon and the sun were not visible at the same time above the equator. So only those who live in the southern hemisphere would have seen both in the sky at the same time. This according to a reliable report by space.com. So the probability that these images are showing a union of the sun and moon in the northern hemisphere is therefore not possible. So what are we seeing then, if not the moon? This image was posted in March, showing the moon in perpendicular alignment with the sun prior to sunset. The moon in the image appears to be nearly full and appearing on the same side of the trees as the sun. Everything about this photo seems unlikely. A full moon or a supermoon would be close to the horizon opposite of the sun, not directly over the sun in perfect alignment. Furthermore, if the moon were full as shown here, it cannot appear in unison because the moon would have to be facing the sun for it to be fully illuminated. Now take a look at this phenomenal video from World of Signs of the second sun capture from Colorado, which was published on December 4th. And take into account the published report, which indicates that the sun and the moon are only visible at the same time from the southern hemisphere during this video capture. There are many phenomenal events that impress and baffle us at the same time. On December 7th, a complex sun halo was seen in the sky over Whitefish, Montana. This is called a diamond dust halo, a ground-level cloud that is composed of miniature ice crystals which form under mostly clear skies. There is something very unique about this particular sun halo. Other than it being a sight to behold, it looks to be appearing in the form of a dream catcher, which in Native American culture represents the circle of life and how forces such as our sun and the moon travel across the sky each day and night. A week earlier, on December 1st, a stunning sun halo appeared in Vemdalen, Sweden, which displayed a parhelic circle and a tangent arc, as shown here. California has been victim to a series of apocalyptic wildfires in 2017, with hundreds of thousands of people forced to evacuate their homes and businesses as fires raged through communities, consuming everything in its sight, as shown in this video by Douglas Thron, which was published on November 24th. Wildfires are becoming all too common in a region that suffers from severe drought and from warmer than usual temperatures. The massive inferno, which is presently burning north of Los Angeles in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, is being fought by nearly 6,500 firefighters. This is another great catastrophe in the making, fueled by vegetation and worsened by the powerful Santa Ana winds. Almost 800 homes and structures have burned since the fire began, which continues on a path of destruction and poses a greater risk for those in its path. Many of you wonder why the Earth is in such conflict, and where lies the root cause of our concern for the welfare of the planet. The very thought of a world in despair is one that has garnered a great deal of anxiety. There is more unease today than there has been in a generation, but what exactly is it that has the world so uptight? Here's just one thought that you may wish to consider in closing. There are forces out there that are still unknown and that are invisible to the naked eye. Like a cosmic magnet, They are tugging at the earth, affecting human emotions and creating a physical disorder in our environment. The presence of exoplanets, alien worlds, and cosmic entities are virtually knocking on our door, which then suggests that our solar system is part of something bigger, and that whatever it is that is out there is very different from the solar system we knew or that we were taught in our recent past. As the journey progresses, we will no doubt gain sight of the many worlds hidden from our view. As we look to the sky, the universe will open like the pages of a book, and its mysteries will be manifest, and we will come to know the truth.